Hi, it's Melissa and I'm back again today with another layout, and this time it's for our first reveal of the year over at Let's Get Sketchy. So that's the sketch and it's by Sarah King, who's also in the design team, and that is my layout. So I decided to go really old school, well not really old school, I decided to dive deep into my stash and I pulled out some crepe paper because I love it, and for this one I've used a lot of the Maggie Holmes original collection and also some of the, I think it was DIY collection, I think it was called. And so that blue cream ledger is from the DIY collection, and I can't remember if the black and white stripe is Maggie Holmes or DIY. So I'm scrapping a couple of photos of Brielle again. She's been getting a lot of layouts lately, and my other two children have been noticing, and especially Azaria has been asking, why have you not scrapped me for a while? But I'm wanting to make my way through my photos, and these photos were some of the ones that didn't make it to her monthly album, but I definitely want to scrap them anyway. And I just thought they were perfect for the sketch, which shows two photos. And I love multi-photo layouts. I've been doing both single photo and multi-photo layouts lately, but it is always good to get two photos scrapped, and especially when they both tell the story. So I had taken photos of her every month, and on this particular day, the photos that made it to her, I think it was 10-month layout for her album, were photos that I took inside, and so I'd taken some outside as well, and these were just her leaning up against our play, I don't know what you call it, thing that the kids climb up. Anyway, I've forgotten. So I took the sketch as my base and I put the main elements down. So when you look at the sketch and look at my layout, you'll see the main pieces, which are the triangular pieces and the horizontal strip. And then I just built on it from there. So the sketch had showed circular elements, and I didn't stick just to that. I used them as a place to build embellishment and extra layers. So I did think about using that frame, and it's kind of a canvas material. It's from the original Maggie Holmes collection. I'm sure you all remember it. And I've got about 6 left, I think. So I really do want to get some of the stash used up. And I think sketches is a good way to go, especially when they show lots of layering. And I've got lots of ephemera left over as well. And I think some of this may even be from the open book. I can't remember. Anyway. So here I've got my main pieces down. At this point, I still think I'm using that large frame. I don't in the end. As you see, I've removed it there. And I'm just tucking in bits and pieces. And there's something about crepe paper. I love how everything works together so well. And I love the mix of vintage items for ephemera. And I also love the harder elements like that clip. And that clip is the last one from that pack. It's taken me only probably 3 years to use them up. They're really hoardable, but it's so good when you use up the collection. And I've still got bits and pieces to go, but the best thing about crepe paper is that you can mix and match the collections and they all pretty much work really well together. So here I'm trimming off this tag and I'm going to tuck it just underneath. Now I had stitched the ledger paper onto the black and white, and when I stuck down the corner triangle, I've just used double-sided tape. I didn't think too hard about what I was going to do on there, so that's why I've had to cut that piece and just kind of force it underneath there. And so now it's just a case of, if I'm happy with where something is, I want to stick it down. I didn't really cut much out of this video. What you see is pretty much what I do. If there's anything that I have cut out, it's me being indecisive or adding things on and then taking them off. And when I say indecisive, I mean I'll hold a piece of, I don't know, embellishments in my hand and I'll stare at them for a while and not really know where to put them, so I just cut that piece out because it's like the frame is frozen. So here I'm gluing down my layers that go under my photo, and I like the way that I don't know what that round element is, but I like the way that it's tucked with the paper going through it. And now I'm just working out where to put my main, I guess, layer of photos. And I thought I'd adhered it. Okay, so I haven't. I had adhered the bits that go on top of the main pieces of paper, and now I'm adhering the actual main piece. And I like that this provides a grounding kind of anchor for my photos. And I'm just checking one more time if I'm happy with where that's going to go. And just gluing it. And I'm glad I didn't push it down too hard, because I realised that I wanted to add this other piece of paper underneath. And that's just taken from the 6x6 paper pad from the original Maggie Holmes collection. And as you can see there, I've put it too far up. So I did think about cutting another piece, and I thought, no, I'm just going to pull it up, and you'll see that it's ripped there. But it doesn't matter, because this part's going to be covered anyway. So I just move it back down and adhere my photo cluster over the top. So that is the main element or piece of the sketch done now. I'm adding some twine into my tags, and it's just, I think it's some Stampin' Up twine that I got, and it's baker's twine. It's really, really thick, and I will end up changing it out, as you'll see as we progress. This is a large piece of chipboard. It's like a doily, and it's from this year's Valentine's collection from Crepe Paper. Sorry, last year now. I'm getting myself confused. I can't remember what it was called, but as you can see, it's just too big for this page. I've tried to get it onto a number of layouts now, and I'm determined that it will make it eventually. And I think with a piece like that, the way to ensure that it gets onto a page is to actually design the page around it. So here I'm adhering this tag down as well, and I like the way that it's on a different angle to the triangular piece, and I'm adding another piece of that twine, which I will also take off very soon. So I'm loving that I'm using this little frame, and I wanted to staple it down, but obviously I can't get the stapler right, and I wanted to have it on both sides of it, so I can get it to there. And now I actually don't know why I stapled it at all, because I'm going to cover it with this flower, which I'm going to put on some dimensional adhesive. And I know for sure that that little flower is from the DIY collection. It's quite confusing, because I know that American Crafts has a DIY shop. I think it's called DIY shop. Anyway, Crepe Paper and American Crafts, who are owned by the same company, have two collections that are named the same, so it does get confusing. Now, I wanted to bring some gold into this layout, not too much, but I had this little tag, I think it says happy, and so I'm just fiddling around with where I want it, and it won't stay where it is. And here, as you saw there, those are the original phrase stickers from Crepe Paper, and they're from the Maggie Holmes collection as well. So I'm just popping up this bird. It came from the original sticker sheet, and just deciding where to put it as well, and the logical place for it to go is actually down there on the bottom left, and I'm happy with how that looks. So there's another piece of gold, and it's a little label, and it's only the outside that's in gold, and I like that. And this little label is transparent except for the gold. So I'm still not sure where I want it, so I've moved on to layering another sticker underneath. And I'm happy with the placement now. A little bit fiddly, I didn't really want to add any tape underneath it, so I've just put it on the side of my photo. And the issue I have, and the reason I'm going to take the twine off those other two tags, is because that little hole on the tag is really small, and this white twine is the only one that's going to fit, and I can't work with white and cream, as in two different colours of twine. I want them all to be the same. So I am aware that there is white and there is cream on this layout, but it was really a continuity issue with the twine. Now I've got this little purple postage stamp and I'm just finding a home for it, and another little label. And so it's just a case of trying out and tucking things under, and I guess I reach a point where I'm happy. So for this one, I did pull out all the embellishments and I did pre-cut the paper to speed up this video. And so when I've used up all my embellishments, I'm not going to go hunting for any more. What I've pulled is what I'll use, and I think I used everything except for 2 of them. So there's another little label, and that's just being tucked underneath the little purple paint chip. And now I'm adding some twine to this tag, and I've tied it in a bow. And my little secret to keeping the bow in place forever is to use a little glue dot behind it. Later on I'll come in and trim off the ends of the bow, they're a little bit long. So here I'm wanting to use some of these phrase stickers, and they are really beautiful. Maggie Holmes always has such beautiful sentiments on her products. So I'm just adding a few more. I'm just tucking them around the photo. So this is, it's also a Maggie Holmes collection. It was the birthday one, confetti. And we got that pack of chipboard. They're like thickers. We got that in a hip kit, and I have a few bits and pieces left over. So I was really happy to use them up, or use some of them up on this layout. And I've had to glue that little chipboard banner because it's pretty heavy and there's a few layers there. And I'm just using Tombow Mono as always. And now this lovely title was perfect for this layout. The colours were perfect, the sentiment was perfect, and I was so happy to get it used up. And so what I'm calling it is Lovely Little Moments. And once again I'm using Tombow to glue it down because I've had this chipboard for a while. And I think that most chipboard would need some extra adhesive behind it anyway. So what's left on that confetti chipboard is numbers, and because she's our 3rd child, I thought I might as well use the 3, and I'm loving how it's looking up there. So once again I've glued it with some Tombow, and now I'm adding some splatters, and I've got some gold colour shine, which I can never get enough of. And I also found, I can't remember if they are crepe paper or, I think they are, gold glitter thickers, and I had an arrow left, and so I thought it was perfect just to point down to my journaling. Can't quite remember what I wrote, probably that these were outtakes, perhaps. Not outtakes, just photos from her photo shoot and how much she loves being outside. I can't actually remember. You'll see it in the final shot, and I'll have it on my blog as well. So then I'm wanting to add the date, and I only have 2 roller date stamps, and I love them. And I think this one might be an Amy Tangerine one, and so I've added that up there underneath the title, little phrase of the title, and now I'm just adding some more gold colour shine, and I think that will probably be the end of my layout. Just want to say welcome to my new subscribers. I've got some exciting things planned this year on my YouTube channel, and I just hope you join me. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your comments, and I will be back again soon. Come and play along at Let's Get Sketchy. I'll have a link in the comments below.